Welcome to the Commvault Hyperscale Solutions training for sales engineers. In this training, we will cover the following items. First, we will discuss some of the challenges associated with traditional scale-up architectures and how customers are transforming their data centers with cloud-like scale and economics. You will then learn about the Commvault Hyperscale X solution, including why to sell hyperscale, the issues and challenges that hyperscale solutions can solve, and how to identify opportunities in both existing and new accounts. We will also cover some details on the technology itself, including the hyperscale software stack, resiliency, software updates, hardware monitoring, and support. You will then learn about the selling process with hyperscale, including how to position hyperscale, how to handle common objections, and dealing with competitive situations. Before we get started, it is recommended that you download all of the available resources that are mentioned throughout this training from the resources link in the top right-hand corner of the window. Please check out the one-slide use case overviews, as it will help you quickly understand what Commvault Hyperscale is and why our customers should care. Data storage solutions for Commvault are available in several different flavors, with combinations of Commvault Distributed Storage, Commvault Hyperscale X, and Metallic Cloud Storage available for anyone to use. In this module, we will focus on Hyperscale X exclusively. As you will remember from Module 1, customers continue to look towards point products in order to meet the demands of modern applications, massive data growth, and agile service delivery. A common solution is to continue throwing more people and resources at the problem. However, this only creates additional silos, adds complexity, and increases risk. The problem is, organizations are addressing the symptoms and not the underlying problem. Organizations must change their current focus and realize that they do not have a storage problem. What they have is a data management strategy problem. Scale up data management strategies are outdated with infrastructure challenges to get bigger, faster, or somehow both. This involves upgrading or replacing hardware you already have, but introduces a whole other series of challenges. As environments grow, simplicity becomes more difficult with the products from multiple vendors that offer zero interoperability. Deployment, integration, and management becomes complex while requiring additional staff for even the simplest of tasks. Traditional scale-up solutions offers antiquated resiliency options when modern full redundancy involves a lot more than just RAID. This is a difficult challenge for scale-up solutions as they do not provide features like automatic load balancing, built-in data security, and any form of OS hardening techniques. Scaling traditional storage solutions comes with its own over or underbuying of storage, with little to no control to scale both capacity and performance in a balanced way. All of these challenges result in poor economics. With the acquisition of upgrades, increased burden on management, and adding more staff, the costs begin to add up very quickly. This creates a cost model that is ultimately hard to pin down. Organizations are moving forward without tackling the core issues. An outdated data protection strategy built on a scale up infrastructure. The Commvault Hyperscale X platform, powered with the new scale out file system, allows users to accelerate hybrid cloud adoption with a scale out integrated solution that delivers high performance backup and recovery, with automatic load balancing, enhanced RPO, and highly efficient data caching, cataloging, and IOPs, IO per second, and reduced RTO via automatic rebalancing of stored data across nodes. The optimized scalability with incremental storage growth up to 5 PB of capacity within a single storage pool, avoiding costly over provisioning and improving backup and restore throughout. Cost effective cloud data mobility with the ability to easily backup, recover, and move data to, from, within, and between clouds using policy driven rules. Built in resiliency with ransomware protection, which improves SLAs with intelligent load balancing, maintains data availability in the event of concurrent hardware failures, and mitigates ransomware impact via intelligent monitoring to detect data anomalies and alert users. Data reuse via integrated copy data management that provides instant recovery of VMs, enables disaster recovery testing of replicas directly from the hardware, and provides live production copies of data for DevOps and testing. Metallic is another part of the equation as well, with Hyperscale X fitting in any part of a customer's protection strategy. Customers that want full control of their data protection and want to manage their own infrastructure are able to take advantage of Metallic Cloud Storage Service. This option allows organizations to work in an air gap with a cloud target for secondary copies. Vice versa, if customers are more interested in a SaaS solution for simplicity's sake, or say if they have SaaS applications they'd like to protect, they can use Metallic Backup as a service. Those Metallic customers have options to use Hyperscale X as an edge storage solution to provide a higher tier of local availability of data. Get in the door with either Hyperscale X or Metallic with the option of then delivering the other as an additional solution. So, should you position Hyperscale in every opportunity? Well, there are some situations when Hyperscale may not be the best fit. Some examples are if the customer is looking at a cloud first strategy where there is no physical hardware involved. A customer who has just recently purchased a new hardware, or one that needs to sweat existing hardware assets, especially the use of existing storage infrastructure, including SAN and NAS. Two other examples that may also not be a good fit or that require careful due diligence are 1. A Commvault solution comprising of Activate products only. This is due to the greater reliance on Windows clients for indexing roles. And number 2, an IntelliSnap only or predominantly IntelliSnap based solution, due to the additional proxy hosts required for backup proxy mounts, especially in predominantly Windows centric environments. Finally, if the customer is looking at a direct to tape only solution, then Hyperscale would not be an appropriate fit. Remember, the two key characteristics to always keep in mind are Hyperscale is a disk-based backup solution that runs on Linux. Commvault Hyperscale X technology can be deployed in 3 different ways. 1, we believe there is and will continue to be a more significant converged market for Commvault software combined with industry-leading server or storage hardware. For this reason, we have built a validated reference design program to provide mid-market and enterprise customers with validated blueprint hardware configurations they can purchase from their reseller or server partner of choice. 2. In the mid-market where IT generalist is prevalent, We believe there is a growing need for an all-in-one hardware-software solution delivered from Commvault. This is the market we are serving with the Commvault Hyperscale X appliance offering. The Hyperscale X appliance can optionally host a virtualized CommServe server, which is designed for smaller deployments with up to 2 appliances in a single CommServe. 3. Scale Protect with Cisco UCS combines Commvault data protection and hyperscale software with Cisco's leading UCS infrastructure. It is the only solution available for enterprise-class data management services that takes full advantage of industry-standard scale-out infrastructure together with Cisco UCS. Full details of all Commvault Hyperscale X's pre-tested and validated reference architectures, Hyperscale X appliance portfolio, and Scale Protect with Cisco UCS are all available at commvault.com/hyperscale. At the time of writing this training, there are 3 different models of the Commvault appliance available. First, the Commvault Remote Office Appliance or RO1200, which offers remote and small offices flexible and streamlined backup and recovery through a scale-up infrastructure and available with 15 TB of usable capacity. Second, the Commvault Hyperscale X Appliance 2300 is ideal for enterprise environments requiring simple, easy-to-use solutions for data protection starting at 25 TB usable capacity. Third, the Commvault Hyperscale X Appliance 4300 is ideal for enterprise environments and managed service providers (MSPs) that require greater density, scale, and performance. Starting with configurations of either 149 or 261 TB usable capacity, its scale-out infrastructure has the flexibility and growth to protect petabytes of data. You can learn more about the Commvault Hyperscale appliance models and download the full tech specs, which are available at commvault.com/hyperscale/appliance. Commvault Hyperscale X is an integrated scale-out data protection and data management solution, where legacy approaches to data protection and legacy protection storage architectures are inadequate for a variety of reasons. As you have just heard, Hyperscale creates a scalable storage pool from commodity servers containing local hard drives based on a validated reference design or an all-in-one Commvault appliance without having to purchase expensive storage arrays or NAS devices. Hyperscale utilizes Red Hat Linux with Commvault's own distributed storage and erasure coding on standardized servers. The data itself is redundantly replicated, allowing for multiple disk or node failures without relying on a traditional shared storage approach for resiliency and recovery. Under the hood, each hyperscale node is a media agent, which means that the compute power to process data management tasks scales linearly with the actual size of the environment. One thing to keep in mind, we don't have to size like we traditionally have, where we think about the customer environments from 3 to 5 years out. That involves a lot of guesswork, hoping our customers' assumptions are right, and even if they are, they stay true for the next few years. Sizing that way leads to a big upfront bill that can scare customers. Using single node or 1+N expansion, customers can buy individual low-cost nodes and add on capacity as needed with only a few weeks of lead time. This allows for growth in digestible chunks that more closely match the reality in our customers' data centers. Multi-dimensional scale-out with storage, indexes, and deduplication databases can grow independently of each other. Customers only need to add nodes when they begin to run out of compute or physical capacity. And they can add as many nodes as they like, up to 5 petabyte per storage pool. Now let's discuss the architecture of the Commvault Hyperscale X storage pool, which, as mentioned earlier, is built on Commvault's new distributed storage file system that uses erasure coding. An initial hyperscale storage pool requires a minimum of 3 servers, known as nodes, which are installed together in the same physical location. The nodes do not require a RAID controller, as the erasure coding takes care of data redundancy at the software layer. Nodes have similar resources of CPU, memory, storage, and network. Individual nodes are required to have a minimum of 2 network ports to support public data protection traffic and for private traffic between the nodes in the hyperconverged cluster. 10 GB Ethernet is recommended and is provided as standard on the appliance. The storage pool can be grown by single or more nodes at a time of equal hardware configuration due to the erasure coding mechanisms in place. Each node in the Commvault storage pool contains an equal number of internal hard disks. In Commvault distributed storage terms, a storage pool is a basic unit of storage represented in totality by a single mount point stored in the underlying file system. For Commvault Hyperscale X, the Commvault distributed storage file system manages each physical disk individually, but are grouped together logically into one scale-out file system abstract, the virtual disk. This virtual disk is what is exported as mount point for the storage pool as the access point for all read and write operations. When there is an incoming write, data is fragmented into 4 equally sized chunks along with 2 parity chunks. These individual chunks are known within the Commvault distributed storage file system as containers, the abstract that provides software-defined resiliency and recovery from hardware failures non-disruptively. This illustration here shows this concept with 4+2 erasure coding in place. Resiliency on the Commvault distributed storage file system is further improved through the addition of more nodes. We will cover this in more detail momentarily. All Commvault Hyperscale X deployments start with 3 nodes for both the appliance and validated reference design. With all deployments, Commvault Distributed Storage allows us to offer 4+2 erasure coding designed around an abstract known as containers, with varying degrees of granularity within the abstract. To simplify it though, each logical container contains 2 disks per node in this starter deployment, which equals 6 HDDs in total. The containers are not bound to the disk that they are on though, allowing them to move freely within the cluster across whichever 6 disks they find themselves on. This configuration allows us to tolerate the loss of any 2 HDDs for each logical container in the cluster, or the failure of one complete node. This is because both these failure conditions will result in the availability of the minimum number of data blocks, 4, for continued operation due to Commvault's resiliency mechanisms. Please consult the Commvault documentation website for more information on raw and usable storage capacity based on drive and block size. Commvault is responsible for maintaining software updates on all the Hyperscale X nodes. This is true for both the appliance and validated reference design. The only exception to this is Windows Update on the CommServe if it has been deployed on the appliance. However, there is an update workflow available that will install downloaded Windows updates automatically. Commvault software updates such as service packs and hotfix packs are downloaded to the CommServe and pushed out to the hyperscale nodes, just like any other Commvault agent. Operating system updates can be installed on Hyperscale X nodes to ensure that OS has the most recent updates from Red Hat. The updates require a remote cache on one of the nodes, where the OS updates will be installed from. Multiple storage pools will require multiple cache nodes. The hyperscale nodes are placed in maintenance mode temporarily, while the updates are performed on the nodes sequentially. This process is fully documented on the Commvault documentation website. Updates can be performed by customers if they are competent to do so, or with support assistance by opening a support case. The hardware support for validated reference design is maintained through the specific hardware vendor. Commvault will work with hardware vendors to resolve any issues, but it will not initiate calls with hardware vendors directly. Such engagements must be arranged by the customer, although we do have an exception for our enterprise level customers who choose to use HPE's validated reference design. Commvault support will work with the hardware vendor on behalf of the customer, but still subject to the customer's own support contract. It's important to note that this level of support will require approval based on an organization's business case and should be discussed internally with management prior to extending to any organization. Commvault handles all elements of the software and hardware stack with Commvault Hyperscale X appliance. 9x5 Next Business Day Parts SLA is included as standard, which can be optionally upgraded to 24/7 4-hour parts SLAs for areas that do have it available. Parts SLA in this context means that once hardware has been determined faulty, parts will be shipped and received within the time frame as the contract dictates. At the time of writing this training, a remote installation assistance service is included by Commvault support to help customers get their appliances up and running. The RIA ends once the CommServe and/or the storage pool is configured. Any configuration beyond that point must be done by either the customer or a paid professional services engagement. This service is currently included for all purchases of Commvault Hyperscale X appliances, including expansions. Finally, appliance relocations to a different region or country from where it was delivered should be discussed with Commvault in advance. This will ensure the hardware support agreement is valid and maintained. The following hardware components are actively monitored on the Commvault Hyperscale X appliances exclusively currently, with further support for validated reference design hardware monitoring on the roadmap. Disk drives, cache storage, power supplies, network controllers, and fans. Proactive phone home hardware support is also available. On the Hyperscale X appliances, configurable SMTP and SNMP alerts will be generated if any of the hardware components are found to be bad. No additional software can be installed on Commvault Hyperscale X nodes. This includes third-party monitoring software. For validated reference designs, currently only the disk drives are monitored by Commvault. This chart clearly outlines some easy ways to decide what is best for an organization. If an organization prefers to have a single point of contact for support on all levels of the appliance, then the Commvault Hyperscale X appliance fits here. Alternatively, If the organization has perhaps a preference to a hardware vendor or like the flexibility of choices there, then they would consider Hyperscale X reference architecture. While both Hyperscale X appliances and reference architecture appliances can support 5 petabyte storage pools, keep in mind that users can get quite a large amount of storage available per node on reference architecture as well. With Commvault Software's intelligent software approach, you can mix any storage types with Commvault Hyperscale X within the same COM cell. This includes the ability to have a mixed environment with Commvault Hyperscale X appliances and reference design appliances, remote office appliances, as well as any number of possible combinations, including bring your own hardware. Selecting Commvault Hyperscale X does not limit other storage options. In fact, Hyperscale can be introduced into a customer environment without expensive forklift replacements of primary or secondary site. Commvault Hyperscale X is easy to scope, price, and deploy. Hyperscale X is only licensed at an individual node basis. This simple approach makes it easy for any customer to buy and use Hyperscale quickly. Here is how to handle some common objections. Hyperscale X is too expensive. I can get X servers much cheaper. That is not an apples to apples comparison. Commvault Hyperscale X nodes are not just servers, they are storage servers that include 4 to 24 data storage disks each. When comparing the costs of Hyperscale X nodes and licensing to scale-up architecture, you must also include storage, storage controllers, and licenses for OSs and storage management software. There's also a need to consider rack space, network requirements, power, and cooling. Hyperscale X is a complete compute and storage solution. Be certain comparisons accurately include everything. Is the Commvault Hyperscale X appliance resilient? Are there single points of failure? Commvault Hyperscale X appliance HS2300 and HS4300 utilizes Commvault's container-based storage, which provides additional read-write options in the event of a disk or node failure, providing additional resiliency per 3 nodes block and as additional nodes are added. The Hyperscale X architecture can tolerate concurrent hardware failures and maintain data availability. External components such as network switches, on which Hyperscale X depends on, can be engineered for resilience. Competitor X has cloud instances, but Commvault Hyperscale X does not. This is a competitive advantage of Commvault Hyperscale. Commvault writes to cloud over native interfaces. Competitors cannot, so they need to convert cloud storage to block storage. The only way to achieve this is to install cloud instances. This drives up the total cost of the cloud to the customer. If the customer needs access to cloud copies from alternate locations, all that is required is a media agent hosted in the cloud. This can be a managed media agent that is only active if and when required. Can external JBOD SAN NAS storage be attached to Commvault Hyperscale nodes? No. Only tape and cloud libraries are supported as direct write external storage. Commvault Hyperscale is not designed to manage external disk storage. If secondary copies to alternative disk are required, a media agent must be configured as the target for that disk storage. Employing Commvault Hyperscale appliance will lower the cost and footprint of your secondary storage and provide linear scaling of performance and capacity. Is hyperscale licensing double charging for Commvault Complete license already in place? No. Commvault Hyperscale X licensing only covers storage management on a per node basis. There are no agents or core capabilities included. Commvault Hyperscale licensing complements Commvault Complete data protection, and there is no overlap. We will not provide product and feature comparisons in this training, as they are well covered in the various assets produced and maintained by the competitive intelligence team at Commvault. Employees can access these assets on Commvault Connect respectively. However, let's focus on a few topics that will create at least a level playing field initially, enabling you to then take the driving seat and get out in front of competition. The modern competitors were born in an era of scale out solutions and utility price models. They did not need to adapt. In fact, we regularly see that those competitors quoting as little as one third of the capacity versus what the customer asked for. Retrospectively, scaling back the capacity of your proposal means that you are not controlling the deal, the competition is. Discounting at high levels when you are oversized the capacity also means that you are not controlling the deal. Discounting to win should not be an option. Adapting to the new market dynamics and taking control of the deal early in the sales cycle should be your priority. We will cover more on gaining the deal advantage by understanding your competition's offering and deal competence on the next slide. Over the past couple of years, we have seen a substantial market shift towards cloud IT. Driven by cloud-like economics and cloud-like scale, most organizations have now fully embraced and adapted to buying IT as a utility, only paying for what they consume. This is the number one benefit of Commvault Hyperscale X, a hyper-converged scale-out solution that should be positioned and sold like any other utility model. Think about it. You wouldn't pay your phone or electricity bill 3 to 5 years in advance, would you? To better match a scale-out model, Commvault has aligned to the decoupling of hardware and software licensing, a tactic used commonly by our competitors. This allows for better alignment of software features with workload positioning. The Commvault Hyperscale X appliance are now licensed as an initial 3-node block, or additional nodes can be added individually as needed. This license change will allow for greater flexibility and precision to quoting a solution tailored to the customer needs. Finally, scale-out solutions by their nature require more regular contact with the end user. This enables you to speak to the customer on an ongoing basis, and it will evaluate you as their trusted advisor and create ongoing sales pipeline through expansion. Market competitors have moved to new sales motion, which can be best described as a scale-out pricing approach. This approach offers fewer initial quantities and features resulting in lower initial costs. If you have not adjusted your selling motion to compensate already, your quotes are likely priced 30% higher than the competition. Scale-out pricing is a buy only what you need approach. After the initial sale, smaller quantities are incrementally purchased as the need arises, typically every 6 months or so. The need is usually driven by one of the following: growth, faster data migration, and/or add-on software options. The traditional approaches addresses all these needs at the initial sale. Scale-out pricing shrinks the initial sale footprint and costs versus a typical 3 or 5 year TCO. Why does the competition position it in this fashion? 1. Lower initial cost versus the competition. 2. Provides a mature organic pipeline. 3. Acquires the net new logo. And 4. Focuses the deal on costs versus customer technical requirements. Do not wait to be displaced by your competition with these deal tactics. Here are some items to discover as you engage with your customers. 1. Inquire into hardware portion of your customer needs. Your customer is landing their data somewhere. Whether the competitor sells hardware or not, this information can help you understand the full scope of the customer from a pricing and technical perspective. 2. Inquire into the software portion of your customer needs. Competitors who use scale out pricing approaches will offer less features to start with. This will shrink their initial costs. By identifying what they are positioning, you will be able to inform your customer the value Commvault provides without playing games. Often, the competitor add ons are left out for a future incremental sale. Again, another reason to make sure there is an apples to apples configuration. 3. Inquire about the term. Competitors price their offerings by the term. Pricing can vary drastically based on the term the competition is putting forward. Do not assume it will be the same term being positioned in your configuration. And 4. Freebies or promotional tactics. Competitors will offer promos to position to win financially. Be careful and double check the terms of any promotional offer. Promotions do not always carry through the whole term and instead are only a portion of the full term positioned. For example, competitor builds out a 3-year offering but only offers certain software or features for 12 months as the discounted or free option, leaving the customer to pay up down the road or cope with the reduction in functionality. The information acquired will help you understand if your proposal is competitive from a deal perspective. Also, this information will allow you to better identify what the competition is offering with their scale out approach. The end result is faster net new logos and better books of business. In this module, we discuss some of the challenges associated with traditional scale up architectures and how customers are transforming their data centers with cloud like scale and economics. You then learned more about the Commvault Hyperscale X solution, including why to sell hyperscale, the issues and challenges that hyperscale solutions can solve, and how to identify opportunities in both existing and new accounts. We then covered some details on the technology itself, including the hyperscale software stack, resiliency, software updates, hardware monitoring, and support. You then learned about the selling process with hyperscale, including how to position hyperscale, how to handle common objections, and dealing with competitive situations. Further, sales guidance for hyperscale is available through the handouts that are included as part of this module. For further learning on this subject, please find more information on Commvault's Partner Advantage portal. Thank you for watching.